welcome to GWC. My name is Magembe. In today's episode, we'll be looking at a simple business plan if you want to become a beekeeper. Because what happens is that most people, they want to start a business, but without a plan. And you know that this does not work. Before you start the implementation, first of all, you have to sit down and look at the numbers and see whether the numbers make sense before you start any business. So, for instance, if you want to start beekeeping, you gotta sit down, get the numbers, do your research, because you have to do research. You get the numbers, you work the numbers and see whether it makes sense. When it makes sense, this is when you proceed. So today, let's look at a simple business plan. And of course, this business plan is just a sample. What it means is that, the same might not apply, another place. You can apply here, but it might not apply another place, depending. Like, for example, this is placed here in Kenya. And even in Kenya, it's actually placed in a certain area in Kenya. So, for example, if you are in the United States, yes, you need to do a business plan, but the same numbers might not apply. If you're in Europe, you need to do a business plan, but the same numbers might not apply. But at least let's go through this simple business plan if you're interested in beekeeping and see what it makes sense. Because at the end of the day, yes, we want to preserve the environment, but we want to make sure that, we are making money. Because of course, without money, you cannot operate. You're going to need money to operate. So let's see whether this venture of beekeeping makes sense. So let's start. So we have beekeeping. Business plan. Business plan. And of course, as we do our business plan, we will take care of some assumptions. We will have assumptions based on what. So what are our assumptions as we embark on this business plan? The first assumption is that this is we're going to be using the Langstroth hive. Langstroth hive. This, again, we discussed in our previous video that we have, different types of hives, and the most common that people use is the Langstroth, that is KTBH and the log hive. But in our business plan, we would be looking at the Langstroth hive. And another assumption is that the scenario is in Western Kenya. Western Kenya. This is an N. Then, another assumption is that we will be starting with 20 hives to start. So let's do the capital. That is capital expenditure. This is what we call it as capex. Let's see as we start this business, how much money do we require if we want to do 20 hives. And why I've said 20 hives is because this is a number that actually makes a lot of economic sense. If you want to make money and go full-time into beekeeping, of course full-time depending on how much money you want to make, but we will look at the 20 hives and see, is this okay? Is this money okay for you to start? And of course, in this business you can always scale. And actually another assumption here we will do is we will only be selling honey. We only sell honey. So that's what we're looking at. So start. You see these assumptions: Langstroth hive, Western Kenya, 20 hives will be sell of honey, and let's look at the capex. Of course, I think I'm running out of space. So we will do a table, a simple table. And you know what is happening these days is that, we are so much used to doing everything on the computer that most people are gonna forget, even how to write. So it's sometimes it's good to use pen and paper and write some things down, scratch some things down before you put them in the computer. Because at the end of the day, of course, you're gonna do this in a computer. But let's just look at this, kind of old school. But it makes sense because this is how your brain, think. Once you write things down, your brain doesn't forget the things you're writing down. So let's move this one, and then we will do let's do our table. So the table, let's start with the item, and then we will have a description, and then we will have a quantity. Let's have a unit cost, and then let's have the amount at this point. So that's a simple table that we working on like this, and let's see if these numbers make sense. So the first item we will have is the Langstroth hive. That's our first item, and we said we will work with 20. We'll work with 20 of the Langstroth hives, and then here in Kenya, most people, the price range. There's a price range, can be lower, high, but on average, you can get a Langstroth hive for about 5,000 Kenyan shillings. And of course, the amount here is in Kenyan shillings. And even here, it's in Kenyan shillings. So of course, if you're buying 20 of them, you can see this comes to 100,000. Then another thing you're gonna need, number 2, is a bee suit. A bee suit. So the bee suit, you will need 2. And you're like, okay, you're doing the business, why do you require 2? It's very hard to just work on the hives or with the bees just alone. So you're gonna need to get someone to help you out so that you're working on this. There's an helper, who can help you move equipment as you harvest honey. There's an helper, someone helping you. So you'll be needing 2 bee suits. And then usually, on average, you can get a bee suit here for 5,000 Kenyan shillings. So 2 of them, this is 10,000. Okay, and then another thing we need is we will need the stands. So usually there are 2 ways. Once you get your hives and they get colonized means that there's a swarm and the bees come in, they get into your hive. You will need to move this to an apiary, and there are 2 ways you can do it. One is that you can harvest the stands where you can place your hives. Another one is that you can build an apiary. You can build a structure where you can actually have shelves and where you can have your hives in there. But here, let's work with the stands. So we have 20 hives, so we're going to be needing 20 stands. And usually what I do, people use metal stand, and of course, which is a bit expensive. It goes for about 1,000 to 1,500 Kenyan shillings. But we need to look for cheaper ways and being more economical. So the stands, what I use some nice wooden stands, and on average, I get this for 500 shillings. So you see 500 shillings times 20, This is 10,000. 10,000 right there. Then number 4, what you gonna require if you are getting in this business, you will require an extractor. That is called honey extractor. That is an extractor, and you will require one. And at the beginning I bought one 3-flame extractor. There are 2-flame, 3-flame, 5-flame extractor, but I got one for a 3-flame extractor and stainless steel, plastic. Sometimes man reacts with plastic, but of course you can start with plastic and you can get it cheaper. But the one I've used is stainless steel extractor, and I got it for 35,000. So this translates to the 5,000. Then another thing you will require when you're doing harvesting, you will require the hive tool. The hive tool. This is when bees, when they put honey, propolis, the flames get really sticky. They get stuck. So when you're removing those flames, you will need the hive tool, and you need one. And one of them you can get it for 1,500 shillings. So this comes to 1,500. And then another equipment you require, it's the bee brush. When you're harvesting, you're removing your flames, bees are everywhere. You try to brush off the bees. So you'll be needing this, one of them. And this one you can get it for 1,000 Kenyan shillings. So that comes here to 1,000. Then another thing you require, another tool, it's the uncombing fork. What happens is that once the bees have put the honey and the combs are full, they usually seal the combs. So when you want to harvest, when you want to put in the extractor, you'll be needing to open up those sealed combs so that you can be able to extract your honey. So you'll be needing this. Say you need one, and you can get one for 1,000 shillings. And then another item you require, you will be requiring the grass. Since you're having 2 bee suits, so you require 2 pairs of grass, and one of them goes for 500 shillings. So this comes to 1,000 shillings. And then I think this is most of the best things that you require when you are starting beekeeping, and for 20 hives. So you see, this is a symbol capex budget, for the things that you require if you are starting this business. And of course, you don't need to buy all these items at once. You don't need to buy them at once. For example, even the hives, you can start with 3 at the beginning, because usually what happens is that you don't just bring the hives today and tomorrow they are colonized. Sometimes depending on, there are swarming seasons. So depending on the season, they can take anywhere within a day, a week, a month, even to 2 months to get your hives colonized. So what happens is that just don't buy all the 21s. You can buy 3, you get them colonized, you get 3 more, 5 more, until you get 20. And of course, it's not that you start extracting your honey from day one. Once the hive has been colonized, usually takes about 7 months to 9 months to actually do your first harvest, because we have to get the bees settled in the brooder. They make honey there, and then by the time they move to the super to make honey there, it takes a bit of time. So, some of these things, so this is the money that you require maybe within the first 9 months to 1 year. So it's not that you require this money once. So let's do a math and see what this money comes to. Let's see the total cost. Yeah, this is 100,000, 10,000. That's 120, 155. 155. Then we have 156, 500, 157, 158, 159, 500. So it looks like, unless my math is wrong, it's 100,500 Kenyan shillings. This is the total cost you require in the first 9 months to 1 year to actually start your beekeeping business if you are starting with 20 hives. So this is the money you're going to require. So if you're interested in this, you can just say, I'm starting beekeeping. You do this, then okay, I want to get my first 3 hives. You're going to need 15,000 to just get that. And then once the hives have been colonized, okay, you go to the stands. Okay, I need 3 stands. That is 1,500. So this is how you can manage this expense within the first year. And, you see whether, this is something that you can be able to do. So you got to be prepared. You have a plan. At least you're not going this, naive, without any knowledge of what is happening. From our research, we can show you that this is what you require. So now the next step of our business plan, we will be discussing, it's production. This is capex. There is production. During production, there is, of course, expenditure. There is an expenditure, maintenance expenditure during inspection and other things. And we will see these 20 hives how the harvest looks like in the first year, and then the second year. So we deal with the first and second year. Then from there, we can be able to actually arrive at what is the payback period if you are starting this business, and is this a business that you can make money and become a millionaire? So let's look at the next part of our business plan, which is about production and maintenance expenditure.